Good to see everyone here tonight. We got about 50 people who said they were going to be here. 50. Let's see how many actually show up. But we got a little bit of time till it happens, so just sit tight, listen to some good music, and we'll start in about 5 minutes. Look at that. We got almost 20 people here so far. This is exciting. I was hoping we would get a lot of people here tonight. So we got about 3 more minutes and then we're going to get started. Good to see you, Bobby. Good to see you, everyone. I'll see you soon. I found this song about a year ago. I was directing a travel show and editing, and I found this song. If you just listen to the lyrics, they're really, really inspirational. And they got the word sunshine in it a lot, so listen up.
Don't wait for tomorrow. chasing the sunshine and go out and play. You know, don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Just keep on chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to coming to my great business launch here. My name is Ryan, obviously, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't know me. I am leading the national expansion for the fastest growing renewable energy company in the country. That's Power. And that's why we're here, because I'm going to share what this amazing company is all about and give you some insights on what makes it so wonderful. So my background is, if you don't really know, I have quite a varied background. I have been in entertainment. I've been an artist and an entertainer, a director, and also a holistic health practitioner. So that experience there in holistic health taught me about what the world is and how everything cooperates together. We have to respect this world that we live in, this planet that we're on. And when I moved on and moved off to Vegas and started doing some different things in my life, still some entertainment work, some artistic work and video work, that holistic spirit has always been present in me. And it really ingrains in exactly everything that I do and who I am. And when my friend Scott showed me his experience with solar, it made so much sense to me. Because what we're doing is we are taking care of the planet by getting people off of the dirty energy grid and also saving them money at the same time. And what's great about Power is they have a tremendous mission to save the planet. This whole organization was designed around that. The training that they have is tremendous. I learned almost everything about solar from my friend Scott, but everything else is from the Power platform. It just taught me everything that I need to know. And now I can talk to anybody about solar. But the great thing about this company is the culture. It's a family. It truly is a family. And we are a global family here at Power because this is an online platform. So people can work with solar, work with Power from anywhere in the world, anywhere at all. And I am so happy. I've already helped a couple of people go solar already, and it's feeling fantastic. They are extremely happy, and life is doing well. So here's what's going to happen. We have Bobby Smith to talk to you, and then my friend Scott, he's going to take it over. So Bobby Smith, you're going to see him wandering around there in the little grid of faces. He is the field president for Power. He has built some impressively large international sales organizations, and he has started and built a national nonprofit cancer foundation. He is a genuine man. He's a top-class individual, and he's dedicated to the cause here at Power and to seeing others succeed. That's why we're here today, because of Bobby. So thank you, Bobby, for inspiring us all, and let's hear what you have to say.
Can you unmute me? All right, we unmuted now. We good? Awesome. Well, thank you for the warm introduction, Ryan. We're excited to have you be a part of our company and honored by everything you're doing, and of course, working with Scott and others that are on here. Again, my name is Bobby Smith. I'm the field president of Power. I'm calling in tonight from Maryland. So this will be my last Zoom of the day. And my role here tonight is really just trying simply to give you a quick snapshot before the formal presentation of what we're doing here. So I would first just encourage you to have an open mind. Let's just try and keep the shots clear. There you go. I would just leave it on the opening shot. Last one was bouncing around so much no one could see. Yeah, let's just chill. 9 years ago, someone sent me something on Facebook. I had been running a nonprofit cancer foundation about this company, Power, and I got on the phone with the CEO and I flew out to California. And there were three of us in a broken down room above the Patagonia clothing store on the beach on the 101. And the owner had just put up $1 million to start this company, and he had a vision for us being the largest renewable energy platform in the world. So I had to have an open mind. You know, I'm married, I got 2 kids. I've seen a lot. I'm 66 years old. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. And so what started in a dilapidated room above a clothing store on the beach, you'll see in a couple of moments, we just hit $1 billion in revenue. Our board of directors has raised billions in venture capital previously, and you're going to hear about our success as we go on. So the only thing I would start with is just have an open mind. We're talking to you about something that really costs nothing. And if you decide to do it, your monthly fees is less than the gym membership. And you have a chance to be a part of something special. Our goal is to go public in the next year and a half or two. And, you know, we believe we're $1 billion IPO on Wall Street, and you'll hear why in a couple minutes. So, you know, I'm a bottom line East Coast guy. You know, I'm not really soliciting opinions. I don't really look at opinions. I look at what the smartest people in the world have to say. So if you want to start the slideshow, you know, Warren Buffett would widely be considered to be a pretty smart man. If we get to the first slide, please. And, you know, Warren Buffett states unequivocally that the transfer of renewable energy, the deregulation of energy, will be the largest shift of wealth in the history of the world. Remember, folks, this has never happened before. It will never happen again. There's one chance to get in front of it. Next slide. The gentleman that resonates the most with me is Chris Sacca. You may see him on Shark Tank. He's a multi-billionaire. He runs one of the most robust investment funds on the planet. He was an early investor in Uber and Twitter. He can see trends happening. And Chris stated that the wealth that will be created in renewable energy technology will surpass all the revenue made to the internet to date. So I want you to just take that in for a minute. And again, if you have any skeptical thoughts in your head, just let them go for a couple minutes. The money that will be made in renewable energy technology will surpass all of the money that's been made on the internet up until this point. That includes Amazon and everybody else. This is the biggest shift of wealth in the history of the world. Now, our company, Power, who you're going to hear about, has invested over $10-15 million. We spend $1 million a month now on creating the most robust technology platform for renewable energy in the history of the world. So we're in a pretty good place. So if you want to be in something, what would you want to be in? You know, I pulled an article from entrepreneur.com the other day. You know, almost 50% of America right now is doing something called a side hustle, and a high percentage of them are 6-figure earners. Now, it might be Uber, it might be this, it might be that, it might be selling stuff on Instagram, but they need to keep up with the rising costs of the world today. So they're doing something else. So I would just say to you, if you're thinking about doing something else, why not position yourself in the greatest shift in the history of the world of money, and the most important shift, which you'll hear about in a moment. Next slide. So again, if you have any skeptical bones in your body, you just got to throw them out because they can't be valid here, right? Our company has done what few companies in the history of the world have ever done. Not only did we hit Inc. magazine as the fastest growing solar company in the United States and the world the last 4 years, but we did it 4 years in a row. And when I called Inc. magazine to find out how many companies have done that, they didn't have a number. So again, skeptics, think about all the companies you know, the big names in the history of the world. Less than 6% of the companies in the history of the United States have made it Inc. magazine 4 years, and they don't have a number for how many have done it 4 years in a row. So again, debate about who we are. Are we in the right place? Are we in the right time? Let's keep going. So if you look deeper in this, next slide. Again, so we've done $1 billion in revenue, and 97% of that was in the last 3 years, if you talk about growth, right? I got solar on my home. That's how I started. So, it might be how you start if you decide to do this, if you can, right? That was the first lesson I learned. My wife was very happy. She loves to save money, and we save a lot of money. There's no debate about the value of solar. You'll hear about that later in the presentation. And we built this platform, just like Uber built a platform, just like Amazon built a platform, just like crypto, all these online reshaping of industries, which we'll talk about in the next slide. Also, no one can debate the fact, this is Harvard Business School, the shift, I'm sure you'd all agree, the shift in the country, in the world, is all going to online platforms. You'll hear more about that tonight. Amazon, crypto, real estate, travel, transportation, communication, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I don't think anyone would want to debate the fact that the future of business in the United States and the world is in fact on an online platform, right? And whether that's good or bad, I don't like to see retail stores closing and companies going out of business, but how do you stop it? I mean, I keep driving down the road saying, how many banks are going to be left in 10 years? Why would there be a bank? I hope there's no bankers on here today. Why would there be a bank? Why would anybody go to a bank? I have a beautiful bank around the corner from me. And the cool thing is there's nobody ever there. So if I have to stop in, there's never anybody in there. So it's a pretty simple thing. Keep going, slides. So what really gets me going in the morning, having spent a lot of time in nonprofit work, I was driving with my daughter on Father's Day, last Father's Day, and she said that a lot of young women her age, she's 28, 29, are debating whether they want to bring children into the world that they're heading into. Now, I recognize that there's always been conversations about whether it's the right time or the challenges of the world. When I grew up, there was, obviously fear of the United States and Russia. Maybe there still is. There was social injustice, there was poverty, there was crime, there was the spokes on the wheel. There's a new spoke on the wheel. 50% of children polled at ages 16 to 25 are now suffering from climate-related anxieties. And that kills me. It's unacceptable. And why would they have climate-related anxieties? Again, for the doubters, these are studies. Well, how can you not? I just got back from Hawaii, visiting Lahaina, where the government had blocked off the devastation of the deaths, a city burned to the ground, unprecedented fires in Canada, wreaking havoc on the air quality along the east coast of the United States. Temperatures on the buoys in South Florida ranging over 100 degrees this last season. You can't eat the fish in South Florida because of the red tides. California's on fire. Houston is having ice storms. I'm not trying to paint a gloomy picture, but as someone who was going to be an oceanographer, if we don't do something in these next 10 years, then our grandchildren are going to inherit a planet that is much different than the one we inherited. And that pains me to say that, but these are scientific facts. When I helped start Power 9 years ago, you couldn't talk about climate change because it was a political debate. It's no longer a political debate. It's a scientific fact. We have to do better. We can do better, and we really should do better. Next slide. I don't know if there is one for me or not. So here's what I would say to you as these gentlemen take over the presentation. Again, first of all, we're just honored that you would take the time to be with us here tonight. I always say to people, if you have an entrepreneurial drop of blood flowing through your veins, this is how you draw it up, right? You might, people get pitched every day, right? This opportunity and that opportunity, the next great thing. And I watch Shark Tank for hours on the day. I watch everything that hits the market. And this is rare, though. This is a company that's done $1 billion in revenue. This is a company that's been featured on Inc. magazine 4 years running. This is a company where our top reps are making over 7 figures currently. I was with a woman last month in Orlando, made 6 figures that month on our platform in solar. So if you have an entrepreneurial, blood flowing through your veins, you can't draw it up any better than this. All of those truths, which are undeniable, yet no one has heard of us. No one knows who we are. And the transition to renewable energy hasn't started yet. 4% of America has solar. Less than 1% has a battery, which is now the new way the industry's going, to have a backup battery to save more money and to protect your home for that 24, 48, 72 hours after an invariable weather event, which obviously are happening as we speak. There's one in the Northeast right now, I believe upstate New York and Connecticut has I don't know, 10 feet of snow, something crazy is going on, right? They're getting hurt. They're getting pounded. And yet here in Maryland, I'm opening my pool tomorrow. It's March. So the world is changing quickly. So if it costs nothing to get involved, and the upside is a percentage of the greatest shift of wealth in the history of the world, then why not roll up your sleeves and go to work? Part-time gig. So if your baggage might be, I'm not a salesperson, we're really not selling anything. It's a mathematical, here's how much you're paying, here's how much you're saving. And people are going to help you. If you believe that you're too busy, I get it. I love to work with busy people. Mark Cuban doesn't need to be on Shark Tank. He's there because smart business people always diversify their portfolio, right? So this is just a really cool way to diversify your portfolio. So I think what people really dig about us is the culture that we built that stems from our CEO. It's just, there's a lot of trust. We have over 5,000 representatives in our company. We have 60,000 people around the globe that have signed up to refer clients to us. So we're blessed and we're humbled. There's nothing easy here. There's no, delusions of grandeur. There's no get rich quick. That's not what business is about. But if you want to just have a side gig, now they call it a side hustle. I don't really like that term. And do it, in the coolest space there is. What gets me most excited is the fact, remember, not a solar company. It's the battery. It's the electric vehicle charging station that will be in every garage in America moving forward. Remember, solar is the law in California. You can't build a house without solar. It's against the law. And the next great thing, of course, is the electric vehicle. I can't wait to get them on our platform. As you all know, gasoline cars will be outlawed in the next 20 years. No one's going to have a gasoline car. They won't be allowed on the roads, right? So this is the way it's going. And if you believe that, remember, there are now highways around the world that are recharging electric vehicles. You ride on the road as it's charging your vehicle. So if you believe, like I believe, that technology is always going to keep coming, new products, new ingenious, new entrepreneurs are going to come up with great things. The common theme that every company needs, i.e. Shark Tank, is distribution. And we represent, in essence, free distribution for any company that's bringing renewable technology to the world. They sign a contract with us. They pay us whatever they're going to pay us, just like they would any client. We'll go out and sell it for them, and they can sit back and enjoy the ride. That's where we're going here. You build an army of talented, focused, dedicated, environmentally friendly people, and you can change the world. So call me naive, but I believe we can change the world, and somebody's got to, because it's heading in the wrong direction. We need to do better than we've been doing before. So with people like Ryan coming on board and Scott leading the way, we're fighting dirty energy. We're fighting dirty politicians. When we tried to stop the challenges in California in renewable energy, we raised $250,000. We were pretty proud of ourselves. The dirty energy companies put up $50 million. Your politicians, your candidates, whoever they want, they work with the dirty energy companies. They work with the dirty oil companies. They have an interest in their combined success. But unfortunately, that's at the detriment to the planet and to our oceans and to our children. And we just can't, in my humble opinion, we just can't keep going down that same road. We gotta fight the fights that are worth fighting, and we gotta win this one on renewable energy. And there just happens to be a ton of money attached to it. So with that, if anybody has any questions for me real quick, I'm happy to take them. Not quick because I have to go, just because I know they want to get any information. Any questions on anybody out there of what I was just sharing with you? You can put it in the chat bar or come off mute if you want. I don't know how you guys are handling that.
Yeah, you can come off mute.
If anybody wants to come off mute.
Mm-hmm.
The best way really would be just get into the presentation. We have a big event tomorrow night celebrating Women's International Month. One of our executives and 3 of our top women performers are leading an online Zoom event. In April, we are hosting an event from our $1 million CNN-like facility that we built in Carlsbad, and we are going to make about a dozen announcements that will change the solar and renewable energy industry forever. So again, right place, right time. I met my wife on a blind date. I can speak to being smart enough to know when I'm in the right place at the right time and having the guts to take action on it, right? So I hope you see this the way you see it. We see it. Join us, be a part of this. If not, get a quote for your home for solar. If not, you can always refer to us when you'd like. But if I'm you, I would try and make a play here, particularly if you already call on people, you know, if you already have residential clients, if you're in real estate or insurance or home security or whatever it might be, that's a laydown. Roofing. If you're a solar pro and you happen to be on here, there's no one in our lane. That's what the data says. So why work for a solar company when you can earn your own and make 3 times as much money and stock options? Remember, folks, we're pre-IPO here. So the numbers I just talked to you about turn you on, you know, get your blood pumping. We're pre-IPO. How many chances do you get to be in front of a public offering on Wall Street? That is our goal in the next year and a half as interest rates come down and the economy starts to restabilize itself, is to raise, you know, several $100 million again and go public. And you can be a part of that. So with that, I will turn you over to your host. I'm going to start getting ready for bed. And I hope to see you around and you'll be a part of this. Remember, everybody started the same way. I didn't know anything about solar. I'm in Maryland. They're in California. You know, you just got to believe. You got to have an open mind. You got to take a look. You never know what can happen. And now I'm blessed with getting to do this every day. So with that, I'll turn you over to your host. Have a wonderful evening. And I hope to see you be a part of our company. Thank you. Peace.
Bobby, thank you. Thank you so much. He's all the way on the other side of the country. It's after 10 o'clock at night, and he just chose to be here with us. So I appreciate you, Bobby. Thank you so much.
Aloha.
So he said something. We're here to change the world. That's why I am here. I didn't get into the business because I wanted to sell solar. If you know me, that's the last thing that I really care about, any sort of construction or manufacturing or anything like that. I am here because I want to change the planet. I want to save the world so that we have a better environment for the generations ahead of time. Not just now, not just the next generation, but 7 generations ahead. We got to think about who we are impacting by our choices today. How far forward into the future are the choices you're making now going to affect those people? Right now, we got a lot of different options, but there are some better options than there are others. You could stay on the dirty energy grid and keep polluting, or you could make a step to the betterment of the future with solar. And we're here to share how all that works. So I have Scott here. I have known Scott since I moved to Vegas in 2017, and he is a very fun and inspiring person. He's been my friend since I got here, and I got to say, I'm glad that he is here for me. He is the one who introduced me to solar, and he is a powerful knowledge in this industry. So he is a regional sales manager here for Power in Las Vegas, and he's been a solar pro for 5 years. He knows pretty much anything you need to know about solar, and I'm glad to have him on my team. So Scott, let's hear what you have to say.
I have a wealth of knowledge to share. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to first honor Bobby Smith for coming on. Like Ryan said, he's on the East Coast. He's the president of field operations. Why would he want to do something like this for us? That's the culture of Power, and that's why I love Power. Ryan, I'm extremely proud of Ryan and what he's doing, how excited he is, how much this means to him, and I see great things in his future. And no, he did not pay me enough to say that, but it's it's the truth. And I am honored to be his friend and honored to help bring him along in the industry and teach him everything that I know. So let's dive right into it, because I know you guys have changed your evening to be here, and we appreciate that and we want to respect that. So let's continue on. So we install a lot of solar but we're not a solar company. We're a platform. So what exactly does that mean to be a platform? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the platform was built to help accelerate the adoption of clean energy across the United States and eventually the world. We have big plans. And I like to make my case tonight for why we're the right industry right now. And I think Bobby has already done that at the right time, and why Power is the right company and platform to help you build a thriving business. It's simple. It's math. That's all solar is. Just stop wasting your money on utility bills. It's very simple. You can save upwards of 50% on your energy costs, depending where you are in the country. There's zero down financing options. It doesn't cost anything out of pocket to go solar, which most people don't know. You get a 30% tax credit from the government towards your solar system, which is absolutely phenomenal. You increase the home value of your the value of your home having solar, and it's clean, renewable energy, basically. So why do you want to have solar versus a power bill? Well, let me tell you a quick story. I got involved in solar 5 years ago. And the reason I did is because I became a client first. I kicked the first solar salesman out of my house nicely because some of the things that he was saying weren't making sense. And I think he was new and didn't quite know how to explain. And about 2 weeks later, I had another gentleman come to my door and he hit me with this line and it made total sense. And he got me. He's like, I told him, I've already had somebody here at my house. It doesn't make sense to me. He asked, did you have a full presentation done? And I'm like, no, just the stuff that he was telling me didn't make sense. He says, well, there's the issue. Do you think that you could make an intelligent decision without all the information? And I'm like, no, he got me. And that's it. You cannot make an intelligent decision. You can't listen to friends and family whose second cousins, first wives widowed out is telling you that solar doesn't make sense. They don't know. You need the absolute facts. And that's why we're here to dispel the myths and misconceptions. So I did end up going solar. And in that year, in 2019, our electric bills were about $3.25 in the summertime. That's fairly significant. Now, we had solar. Our solar payment is $135 a month. It is never going to change. Do you know, based on the increase, I'm going to tell you about this in a second, the increases that NV Energy have had in the last year, that those $325 electric bills in the summer, if I did not have solar, would be over $550 a month. I pay 135. Who do you think's winning there? And that's never going to change. The rates are going to continue to go up. That is a 71% increase for NV Energy. And it's going to go up and up and up, and it's not going to stop. Lock in your rate with solar, and you don't pay any more than what you currently pay, as the rates continue to go up. So that's a no-brainer to me. So if I didn't go solar, that's what would have happened. Excuse me. So just how big is the opportunity with solar? If you're going to get involved with a business on a part-time basis, a sun-time basis, a full career change, a side hustle, as Bobby had called it, you want to know who you're dealing with. I think Bobby pretty much painted that picture, but what exactly does that translate to in the world of homes that we can put solar on? So right now, there's $130 million, $130 million homes in the United States, and 90 million of those are eligible for solar. Do you think we have a market? 90 million, folks. I'm sure we could all find a few people that want to go solar. But here's the interesting fact. Only 3.5 million have gone solar. That's less than a 4% market penetration for all those that are available to go solar. So does that give you a clue? There is a big market for what we do. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and hold them to the end, and then we'll definitely cover all of your questions at the end. Promise you. So there's the market. There's always people to talk to. People want to save money. People are living paycheck to paycheck. stretching the money the best they can. And the great way to do that is with our solar. Now, Buckminster Fuller said to change things, don't try to fight the existing reality. You have to build a new model that makes sense. And the old model, obsolete. That's exactly what we've done with power. So here's why we're winning the game. So let's take a look at what used to be to what is now. So we all remember Kmart. I think Kmart only has 3 stores as of 2022. There were only 3 stores left in the United States. Kmart was all over the place years ago. What happened? They were replaced by Amazon. You can buy everything on Amazon. I buy everything on Amazon. I am a frequent flyer. So Kmart went out of business. Taxis. Now you have Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft are cheaper most of the time for taxis. What is the point of these so far is these are platforms, just like power. These are technology platforms without the need for brick and mortar businesses. Even like hotels, Marriott and Hyatt and so forth. Now you have Airbnbs. Airbnb is making money off people that already have the brick and mortars. It's their own homes, it's their rentals that they rent to people, and Airbnb makes a little percentage off of every rental. Now you multiply that by millions a year, Airbnb is making an enormous amount of money, and it's just a platform technology like power. What about this one? We're all familiar with Blockbuster. Blockbuster has 1 store left, and I think that's a novelty thing that they keep it open. That was replaced by Netflix. Now you've got Amazon and Hulu and Apple TV, and there's no need to go into a brick and mortar place and to rent a video and take it home. It's all online. It's a platform. And last but not least that we have for you to little think about this is Prudential. You have Prudential, you have Century 21 real estate companies. EXP, I don't know who has heard about EXP. EXP is one of the, I believe, the 5 largest real estate companies in the world. They are a platform technology. Are we seeing a pattern here? All platform technologies taking over industries, and that's what power is. We're here to dominate the solar industry with our platform technology, and that is exactly what we're doing, evidenced by some of the things that Bobby spoke about earlier. So how do you make money with power? Just by referring people. That's one of the ways that you can do that. This may not be for you a full-time gig, a part-time gig, a side hustle. Maybe you just want to refer, and you understanding, hopefully after this, that solar makes absolute sense versus the electric company. It's just math. It's not sales. It's math. We educate people, and when you see the facts, it just makes sense. So as an ambassador, that's what we call people that want to just refer. An ambassador for our company, we do all the work. You say, Ryan, hey, I've got my next door neighbor. He's been looking at solar. Or Ryan, my aunt is thinking about solar. Here's their information. Ryan is going to do all the work. Ryan's going to do all the back end stuff to put a presentation together and a savings report to see if solar even makes sense. And if it does, guess what? You get paid $1,000. You get paid $1,000 for every install, and it's unlimited. We have ambassadors and referrals make up 20% of our revenue. Remember, we're $1 billion company. 20% of that comes from the referral base. That's very powerful. If you don't have the time or you don't believe that you want to put in the time, we can still work that out with you. And if afterwards, we'll talk about how you can take advantage of that. So you want to leverage. I'm just going to make up my own words as we go. You're going to leverage the opportunity with power. You can build your own solar company. And you don't have to be in any particular place to do that just because we're in Nevada. We're actually in 23 states right now. I sell solar virtually in 23 states. Not all 23. I've actually sold in 6 different states personally. I have my good friend in the business who lives in Mexico. He moved there a few years ago. He surfs in the morning, sits on the beach, and he conducts his business from Mexico in the United States. It's simple to do. We have all the marketing assets and materials you'll ever need. We have virtual proposal tools that you have access to once you decide, and if you decide to become part of what we do. We have an online back office that tracks everything, keeps track of every presentation or proposal that you have. We have all the materials to present to the homeowners. We have a training and knowledge base. This is phenomenal. I've been in 3 other companies in solar before I found Power. No one even compared to the knowledge base and the training that we have in Power to learn and understand this business and how to present it to people so they can make an intelligent decision. It's absolutely, bar none, the best in the industry. And we also have affordable healthcare options for people that are in our company. So there's lots of different reasons to become part of Power. It's a thriving business model. Excuse me. So the simple path is tier 1. That's to get started. This is how you start your solar business if you choose to do that. As a tier 1, you're in the learning mode. And in the learning mode, it's my job as I'm what's called a tier 3 mentor besides a regional sales manager, as I teach and train people how to present this information and how to teach their friends and family and anybody else the benefits of solar. And in doing that, you just get the information, you submit it through our platform, you tag me as a mentor, and you earn while you learn. I do all the work, I teach you, and you'll earn an average of about $3,500 because we do a 50-50 split where you learn for your first 3 deals. And then you're eligible to refer others. And then we have what's called revenue share, and we'll cover that in a bit, and eligible for stock options. So that's the first one as a tier 1. Now, if this is something for you and you decide, yeah, I'm liking this and I want to make more money than the half, the 3,500, you can work towards becoming a tier 2. Now, a tier 2 means that you've done your first 3 training sales. Now, we don't kick you out after 3 and hope you just make it. If it takes 5, we take you through 5, whatever it is, so you feel comfortable doing it on your own, and that I'm comfortable knowing that you can do this on your own and making sure that you present the information appropriately. Now, you do that, you choose your own deals that you want to do, and now you're going to earn an average of $7,000 per install. 7,000, that's not a typo. That's not a line of saying my average, everybody's average is different depending on what part of the country you live in. My average is over 7,000. My average commission is 7,150, I believe. So it's true, it's real, it's there. Just nobody's ever presented this opportunity to you knowing that you can do that. What could $7,000 if you only did one of these per month? Could that change the zip code that you live in? Could you send your kids to the colleges that they really want to go to, the universities? That's life-changing money, guys. And you can do it part-time. I started in solar part-time. My last month before I retired from my job after 35 years, my last month, I made 5 times what my salary was at my job after 35 years, my last month. Part-time. So this is real. You just have to decide if it's real for you. And then the last one is the tier 3, which I am. As a tier 3, you get to help others close their deals. On your personal deals, obviously, you're still going to earn the 7,000 average on your personal projects. And as a tier 3, you get to do what I get to do. If you're going to impart your knowledge, you're going to help the people that want to do this on a part-time basis, full-time basis while you teach them. You get that 50-50 split now. It's not me getting it, you're getting it as a tier 3. And in order to become a tier 3, you've got to finish 5 as a tier 2, which is no big deal. I think I did my tier 2 within finished tier 2 and became a tier 3 after 3 months, 3 to 4 months in the business. It's not tough. So now you're earning $7,000 on a project, $3,500 on a split teaching other individuals, and you're eligible to refer others and earn revenue share and eligible to earn stock options. Money's real, the money's there. So let me show you how we do that through power. So how do you earn on the power platform? So right off, just to let you know, power only keeps 15%. That's a 15% margin of profit on a project. All the rest goes back to the field. We get a 70% split on a deal. If it's a $10,000 revenue for a project, power takes 3,000, you get 7,000 on average. That's how that works. Now, besides the personal sales, you're earning 70% on that, $6,000 to $7,000 per project. That's paid out daily. Then you have partnered sales, which is the 50-50 commission split that you're going to do as a tier 3 that you can earn $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 depending on the size of the project and how much you can save people. Then we have revenue share. Your revenue share, you're building an organization of people that want to do this either part-time or full-time or sometime or just as a referral, as an ambassador like we spoke about. When those projects are done on your team for other team members that you've brought into the business and taught, you get anywhere from 150 to 550 to know about actually about $200 to $600. Once they're trained and somebody does that, you make $200 to $600 every time somebody on your team produces a new client for power without doing much but training them. That's not a bad deal. And then obviously have a stock options with power. Power is aiming for an IPO within the next year, which is hugely powerful. I think that's going to be pretty powerful for $1 billion company. So that's it in a nutshell. We have 4 different ways to earn money through power. Now, we're setting a new standard for solar. If you can take a look, if you remember back when Bobby was speaking in the beginning, we've made the majority of that $1 billion in the last 3 to 4 years. This has been our growth for power since 2020. As 2020 is when we launched our cost of goods model. Cost of goods model means that we know what every single cost of every item in your project is cost, and we know what our profits are going to be. In other companies, you can't do that. We are the only company in the industry that has a very transparent cost of goods model. And since we introduced that, you can see what happened to the sales. The sales doubled the second year, and then 323 million, 365 million. Now we're $1 billion company. And I think the best thing, besides just the money, because we keep talking about money here, is the impact that we're having on people's lives, both for solar and renewable energy and saving the planet, and for helping people change. Like, it's about time freedom, it's about financial freedom, it's about spiritual freedom, it's about location freedom. That's what we help people do through power. So we use what we do for good. Now, most companies are just corporations. We're a public benefits corporation. A public benefits corporation has to serve the community that they sell to and the world as a whole. And just going to give you a little insight real quick. So solar energy is clean energy, but it's actually dirty because it takes a lot of dirty businesses to create solar panels. And what I mean by that is carbon emissions. From digging the mines to getting the raw materials to producing the panels to shipping the panels for installation crews, that is emitting carbon into the atmosphere. I am so proud to announce, and I love this about Power. Power is one of the few companies in the world and the only solar company that has a 0 carbon footprint. And do you know how we do that? For every project that is installed through Power, there's an algorithm based on how big the size is, because every home is different. One home might be twice as much as the other. Through that algorithm, we plant trees with 4 different businesses around the country, around the world, to reforest the world, to give back what it is taking away. So we have a 0 carbon footprint as a solar platform. Nobody else can do that. I'm so proud of that. So, we can go on and on. You have to experience power for yourself. You have to experience the culture itself, the sharing, the closeness, the friendships, the bonds, the people that I have met. Guys, I have phone numbers of people in the company that are my friends that I've spent time with and done things with that make multiple 7 figures a year. That's how this company is. Our CEO is a hippie. I love him. He's so transparent, but you won't find that out unless you become involved. That's an experiential thing. I could talk to him blue in the face and you don't know until you become involved. So how do you become involved in our company? If you just want to become a referral ambassador, that's absolutely fine. You can talk to Ryan and he'll give you his link and show you what we can do, and we help you to be successful as a referral ambassador. So one of the things that you can do is when you start with Power, right now until the end of the month, we're waiving our $99 one-time onboarding fee. That's a platform fee that's onboarding. It's only one time, and that is waived till the end of the month. And as a Power seller license, you get to do your solar sales and use our platform. You can have access to the Power compensation plan and take advantage of all the different ways that we make money besides the direct sales done. You can create your virtual proposals and create the contracts through your back office. You get all the reporting and everything that you need to run your business. And then the training that I talked about, which is bar none, the best in the industry. And it's not only me that'll teach you. There's other people that'll teach you. There's the platform that'll teach you. So as a Power seller, it's a monthly investment of $85 a month. Now, $85 a month for what we have is nothing. We literally could charge $500 a month and it'd be well worth it. And the $85 a month is the technology cost for all of the virtual stuff and the back office stuff that you have. And you have project managers that are assigned to all your projects that work for you in the background. This is all what the $85 will bring you. Now, most of you, I'm assuming, are single people that would be a Power seller, but we also have other options, Power Pro license and for Power Enterprise license for people that have lead generation they might want to bring on to the platform, or a smaller solar company. We actually have smaller solar companies that take advantage of Power. They come on to Power, they white label, they still operate their business on the front as they were operating before, but now they have access to 4 and 5 different solar panels where their company usually might only have 1 or 2, maybe. That's usually what will happen in other companies. We have multiple panels to select from. We have 4 or 5 different lenders to select from. So they have all those options to operate from. Power's taking care of all of that and all of the payroll, and they white label and they run their business, but take advantage of the bigness in the back end. So if any of you fit under those categories, this is something that we could talk to you about in the future. You can get in contact with Ryan. We can explain how that works for you if that applies to you. So basically, that's it. We're just looking for people that want to spread the word, that want to work with us to help accelerate the adoption of renewable energy across the United States and eventually the world. Power is going to be, mark my words, $100 billion company in the coming decade. Right now, we're $1 billion company. We've got plans that are just beyond what you can even fathom right now, but let's work with what we have. After this presentation, get with Ryan, either direct message him, text him. If you have any more questions right now, when I'm close this up, we're going to take questions and answer anything that we can that's appropriate on this platform. Anything more in depth, we'd like to talk to you personally on a one-on-one. So that's all that we have this evening. Again, I appreciate all of you being here and taking your time out of your evening to witness what we have going on. And we're excited that you have. So I'm going to stop the presentation right now, and then I'm going to open it up for questions if anybody has any. So everybody should be unmuted, I believe. No, they aren't. Oh, where's the unmutes? Someone that wants to speak, try to unmute yourself. See if it'll let you unmute yourself. Anyone going once, going twice? How do we do that, Ryan? Ha! See, you don't have to be a technical genius to do. So mute all, allow persons to unmute themselves. There we go. Okay. If you have a question, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and we'll answer it to the best of our ability if it fits for this forum. Everybody's shy.
Well, I'm not going to be shy. This is Nina and Ryan. How are you?
Hello, Ninan. How are you?
I'm doing great. That's a fabulous presentation. The whole thing you put together, you actually surprised me.
I'm glad we could surprise you.
I do have a question. The question is, say I have a friend of mine, you know who I'm talking about. I have a friend of mine that has a commercial building. So obviously, it's quite a large building, actually, quite long. How does that manage? Because I would not want to be selling. I would want to present everything to you, Ryan. You know me. So how does that work?
I'm gonna handle that one. Well, how that would work as far as commercial is that power in and of itself does not do commercial. But being in the industry for 5 years and with power for 4, I have a number of sources for commercial projects. So that's something that we can talk about offline. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, absolutely. And I would love to help you in that. Commercial is huge too. 2 of my good friends that I work with in power also have and they're local here in Las Vegas. They also have their own commercial solar company. So definitely get back with Ryan. We'll connect and we'll
Okay,
see what
cool.
we
I
can do
don't
to
know if
help
they
you.
have, I don't know if they have it already, but I know that their commercial is quite a large building, and I had suggested it to Ryan, and then I was waiting for this presentation so that I could learn more about it. I
Sure.
would be more excuse me, I would be more of the person to introduce people. I'm a great talker, and I talk too much actually. But if you don't believe me, ask Ryan. But I can be, I can give, a list of people that I think
Okay.
might want this. Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Get with us after or tomorrow, and then we'll see what we can do. I appreciate
Okay.
you.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Great. Ryan, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else?
Looks like we got Ian Rose.
Hey Ryan, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yes.
Hey, I have a question. Now we live in a condo, so we can't do anything like this. But now I live here in California in Orange County, and I've noticed probably in the last this is going back 15 years, where you see more and more solar companies pop up. See, I forget the name of some of these bigger ones out here. People like everywhere selling solar. You go to Home Depot, there's solar salespeople, et cetera, et cetera. Well, so it seems like this thing has been going on for a while. And initially, nobody knew about it and all that stuff. And then people started to catch on, get a little more educated. And I think one of the big benefits that were presented to a homeowner is that, hey, sorry, my bandwidth is really low. Pardon me. Um, you can cut down your electric bill, and then you can sell energy back to Edison or whoever it is, right? Your electric company, and that was one of the big selling points. Um, Now, from what I understand, is so I don't see. I think many of these solar companies they don't advertise as much anymore. Um, I I my feeling is that they basically saturated whoever it is that wanted to or were interested in it for whatever reason. But one of the things that happened in the last few years was eventually The electric companies uh, they went to the legislature and they wanted basically better deals. So they would give you less money back or for the power that you put back to the grid. It's that stuff, something like to that effect. Um, has that happened here in California?
Well, I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version answer of a very lengthy answer. Um, so, so what happens with solar and what makes solar possible is what's called net metering. So when you overproduce, power company acts as your bank, you sell the power to them. And when you need more power, like in the summertime or at nighttime when the sun isn't out, you buy your credits back. Okay. Every state is different. Every company is different. It used to be in Nevada, that used to be a 1-to-1. So you, for simple math, you sell it to it for $1 when you overproduced and you bought it back for $1. Okay. That's changed. You sell it to them now for 70 cents and you buy it back for $1. Still makes sense for solar. But in California, what happened was they got rid of the three big companies, PG&G, PG&E, FDG&E, and SDG&E, and I forgot the other one. Anyways, what they did was it's called NEM3. They eliminated the net metering, which means when you overproduce and sold it to them, you weren't getting enough to make sense to be solar. So now in California, you have to have batteries for it to make sense. And because the electric rates are so high in California, it makes sense. Even people that are doing 2 and 3 batteries to keep their whole home going in case of an outage and to store their produced electricity to draw from at night instead of the power company, they're still saving a ton of money. So yes, it's what's called net metering. So that became mandatory and changed recently last year. There's a big push for everybody to get their solar in before the net metering 3, NEM 3 is what it's called, changed. So it's still a very viable option, absolutely, as far as market penetration goes. As big as California is, California, we have less than, I believe, nationwide, we have 4% market penetration. I believe California is 8%. So much higher than the national average, but nowhere near saturated. It's nowhere near saturated anywhere. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of. So what happened to these companies that you don't hear about anymore?
But the solar companies? Is that what you're speaking about, solar companies
Yeah, I used to hear ads all the time on the radio, especially
in California?
TV, and now I even got hit up probably 3 months ago at Costco. There was a guy at the,
Mhm.
when you leave,
Sure.
hey, you want solar? And
Yep, I think you cut out again there. So as far as the companies going out of business, yes, there was a challenge there because of the new net metering. They didn't adapt. That is what is so amazing about power and power strength and their bigness and their stability. We adapted. It's not an issue at all. We're thriving in California. So yes, did it eat up some of the smaller companies? Absolutely. That's going to happen. Same thing happened here in Nevada, but we're still here. We're still strong in Nevada. And yeah, did that help?
yeah, I was
Okay.
just wondering
Fine.
about that selling power back. And so what you're saying is that you don't really sell it back; you just store the power so you can use it later.
Correct,
Is that
correct.
what you're
Now
saying?
with the three big companies, there are still some of the smaller companies, the utilities that have net metering, but the big three, they don't. And so you have to have batteries for it to make sense in California. And it still makes sense. There's still savings. We're still saving people tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, $50,000 over the course by going solar. So yeah, it's just math is all it is. And like the gentleman I spoke about earlier that came to my door is like, you don't know until you have a full presentation and we can do a savings report. It might not even make sense for you. I know it doesn't for you because you live in a condo,
Yeah.
but yeah, you don't know until you see all the numbers. And then it's a common sense decision. It's all math. That's all it is.
And who, when you, let's say somebody does decide to do it, who pays for it?
Who pays for the solar?
Yes.
Oh, the clients do. Yeah, there's nothing out of pocket ever. It can be. You can put money down if you want to. I discourage people from that, but there's nothing out of pocket. If you qualify and we could save you money and it makes sense to put on your roof, what we do is we build a system to match what you produced historically. So let's just say 10,000 kilowatt hours, which is a little more than average across the United States. Your home produced 10,000 kilowatt hours. We design a system to replace that 10,000 kilowatt hours. So now the only thing that you have left is your connection fee from the power company. You eliminated your electrical charges, and now you're just paying for your solar payment.
I see.
Good questions. No, appreciate that. Thank you, Ian. Anybody else have questions? Going once. Hey, if I offered $50, somebody'd ask a question, that's for sure. Anybody?
See, the great thing about power is, like we talked about, power is a platform. It's not a brick and mortar company. So like Ian was talking about, he was seeing solar companies all across the cities. And these are companies that they support their company, the building, the employees. They got to pay salaries for the employees and everything. We at Power, we are flexible because it is a software platform. We are not a solar company. So as the market shifts and flexes, we can adapt to that. We can shift and flex with it. Right now, you could say that it's a difficult time for solar companies with a lot of the changes that are going on, but we are thriving because of the way that we operate with business. The platform brings the best of everything. The best of manufacturers, the best installers, the best salespeople, the best financing, and it's all for the benefit of the individual homeowners and for the planet. That's what's really exciting me about this, the flexibility and the respect for the planet and everyone involved in the entire process.
It's
So do we have...
It's funny how things have changed. I remember I lived on Mulholland Drive in Los Angeles, and a solar company, I forget who they were, and they obviously came to me and wanted to put the solar in. And it was going to cost me $48,000 to put the solar on. I said I was too old. I'd never get my money back for doing that. But it's funny how things changed. And then I was in Lowe's the other day, and a guy just standing there, and he asked me, he said, "Do you need solar?" And I looked at him and I started to laugh because I immediately thought of Ryan. And I said, "No, not at the moment." But yeah, they are out there. People are out there trying to get customers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I forgot to tell you the most important thing is, so if anybody caught what Bobby said earlier at the beginning, that in California, solar is mandatory for all new residential builds. Mandatory. That started in 2019. Okay. Here's a little secret.
So
Solar
if
is
it's
going to hold on, Nina. Hold on one second. Solar is mandatory in California, and coming within the next 5 years, solar is going to be mandatory in Nevada.
Okay.
You're not going to have a choice.
Who pays for the mandatory? Does the builder put it on, or is it the client that buys the house?
So usually what happens is the builder will put on the solar. The issue is, here's the issue. The builder, because I know this intimately, I've heard the numbers, they charge a ridiculous amount of money for the solar that they put up there. Firstly. Secondly, it's never enough. They put up the bare minimum to say we met the requirements on this new build and put solar in. We have a gentleman in our company that his whole mission is he goes to new homeowners like that, and he does an upgrade and adds on because there's not enough solar. People are still getting an electric bill. So he adds on to the system to completely eliminate the electric charges. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. What about
Yeah.
your cooking? What about your stove? You got a separate bill for your stove? That's electric.
That's all built in. If you have an electric stove, that's all going to be figured in on your historical usage is what we do to build a system to replace what you're already
So
using.
your whole electric system will come under solar.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Good question.
Interesting.
Anyone else?
Wow. I know. Come on, everybody.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. It is the top of the hour, just a little bit past, and I don't want to keep you any longer, but I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you supporting me in this process and understanding what I'm actually doing and what the focus of my life is right now. I'm extraordinarily excited about it. And you got to think about this. If someone is going to go solar, do you want to trust them with whatever guy is knocking on their door? Or do you want to give them the opportunity to work with someone that you trust? Offer that to yourself. You can be that trusted person, or you can just refer them to me and I will give them the best of the best. That's why we're here. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. I appreciate you being here, and I'll be in contact with each of you tomorrow or throughout this week. I got a kind of a busy week, but I want to hear your feedback on what you just experienced here. So thank you everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
you, Ryan.
Beautiful presentation. Thank you.
I
Ryan.
appreciate it. Thank you. Have a beautiful night.